welcome back subscribers, and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion it's another, I still haven't got the right word for it, but basically as I'm driving around the countryside looking for a little coffee shop or something just to sit down and take a load off while I'm riding my motorbike, I do take all the side roads. So any road that's a toll I avoid, even the freeways if I can. Sometimes you just can't, and on this occasion I've come back the back way. It takes me probably, for the average guy, it probably takes say 30 minutes to get from point A to point B if you're going directly. And what I do, because it's sort of, pardon the term, arse about, it takes me about over an hour. And it doesn't bother me because that's when you get to see all these goofy things that are out there, and where you get to see a bit of history, a bit of heritage for when back in the day people used to run the farms that were close to the city of Melbourne. And we're at one of those locations now, and I can tell you, unfortunately, a lot of people are doing a lot of dumping. The good thing about this place is the entry points to get in have all now been blocked. No vehicles can come in here and unload like they have, and I'll show you around. So once again, this is definitely an area that's going to be redeveloped for residential housing. It could be a commercial estate, I don't know, but quite a number of little properties around here have been bought up, and this one in particular caught my eye. Whoever had the place did have some pear trees or apple trees, and they're still here. And it's just a shame that they're just going to eventually get bulldozed. But anyway, I'll swing the camera around, show you where I am, and let's go for a bit of an explore. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming that they're all fruit trees of some sort, be it apples, pears, or something similar. They've got a shape about them that sort of reminds me of that. I could be wrong, and by all means chime in. Leave a comment if you believe I was wrong. Came again with the trusty motorbike. I had to. Well, actually, the story was I got trapped in mud. This is the second location I've been to. There'll be another video of another property I had been to where I got caught out in mud, and I was stuck there for an hour and a half on my own until the two gentlemen that I mentioned in the other video bailed me out, and they were absolutely terrific. And I went straight to a car wash, gave the old girl a bit of a wash, and we're all good. So as we go around, you'll see there's a mattress underneath those trees. I'm hoping that's just dumped and no one's actually come here. It is very close to a freeway, and the property probably can't be seen from the freeway, but only on the back route. So everything's overgrown here. I don't think I'm supposed to enter through here. Even there, it's one of those, like most larger country properties, have a drive-in and a drive-out sort of driveway, so you can do a complete U-turn within the property because they've got so much space. But as you can see, this is where I came in through. I'll just zoom in a little bit. You can see that they've got the barrier there, which is great, but you can see just the amount of rubbish people have come in. A lot of electrical wires absolutely everywhere. Now, I'm not sure if these electrical wires have got any, if they are electrical wires. Actually, they don't appear to be, because I would have thought that they are. And someone's actually made the effort of stripping the copper, or brass. I think it's copper, not brass, or whatever was in there. And this is all the rubbish. Now, this looks like the garage that's caved in, sadly. Wow, and you can still smell, what do you call it, the embers, or whatever you want to call them. You can still smell the fire. Wow. Okay. It has been raining, and maybe that's caused the smell to be a lot higher. So we've got, so this was a great house. Look, you can just see the brickwork. I like looking at the brickwork, also the foundations around the property where the verandas would have been, and they're all structurally sound in my mind. Someone's taken all the window frames, not just the windows, but the window frames out. So there's no chance of this ever being resurrected, so to speak. So it is a huge property. It's a big property. I'd say there has to be at least 5 bedrooms here, but we'll go have a look. And once again, this is a very isolated area. You'd be hard pressed to find this place, even if you're a local, because it is a difficult place to come to and find. Yeah, every window frame has been taken out with the windows. Well, at least something got recycled, which is great. A graffitiist has been through, but I believe maybe just one. I won't go through, there's just too many nails. I would say that that's the family bar. Yeah, so that's your bar for entertaining guests. That's not too bad. You don't have, not too many houses have that. It sort of was a trend, I guess, back in the 80s, I think, with a lot of new homes. And it slowly, I think, drinking to an excess is no longer in fashion. And even the moderate drinkers have sort of, you don't normally see the bars in homes anymore, which used to be quite a feature. I think they even advertised it with real estate agents. If it had a bar like a swimming pool, it was always considered something special back in the days. And that was when 70s and 80s is when I recall bars being quite trendy for a house. Yeah, there's quite a number of bedrooms here. And they're really good sized bedrooms too. They've all got their own built-in wardrobes. What have we got? The laundry. Laundry's very large compared to some of the ones we've seen. Toilet. It's been hacked. And once again, I think it's important to reiterate to some people who might suggest, oh, it seems like a bit of a waste. I was one of the same people that used to think, wow, it seems such a waste to let the house just go and not try to rent it out. But then you do have the problem if you're a developer of having squatters in. And if you get squatters in, you can get them out. It's not a big deal, but it's an unnecessary expense. Whereas if you know you're going to bulldoze the area, the money's not an issue. If you're a developer, then you just strip it of all utilities like gas, water, electricity, so then no one can really come in and squat because they've got no power to sustain them and do things with. That's your bathroom. Pretty cool looking. And that's pretty much the house. So we'll go outside. What did catch my eye was like a huge barn. Now I'm not sure if it was part of this property or it was part of something else. And I think it might be part of this one. So they had the satellite dish here. I don't know if you can see that, but look, it would have been a great family home. If you had a bunch of kids, wow, would have been great fun living here. And I believe there's enough, well, it depends on the size of the property, as in land, on how much livestock they had. I have no idea what this room's for, but it's a pretty big one. Then you've got this sort of garage thing. No idea. Store something. Got a lemon tree. So they've had a few sheds on the property, which is great. Another shed. And once again, the other thing I've noticed about this particular area is it might necessarily be a farm property. It could very well be a property that a trucker had, and as in a truck driver, and with all his large trucks, trailers, they need a lot of space. If they're in the suburbs, obviously it causes drama with everyone. They don't want them there because the trucks are too big. It could be one of those situations with all these sheds. And that's really just to keep a lot of their mechanical, what do you call it, tools and stuff to work on their trucks, because most truck drivers are actually quite good at servicing and maintaining their rigs. So I'm going to suggest that maybe that wasn't the case with this property. Now this looks like something that you'd load cattle onto a truck, sheep, some sort of livestock would have come up this ramp and onto the back of a vehicle. for market. Pigs, chickens. I think this probably had everything. So this was definitely a little bit bigger than what I'd call a farmlet, where it's just a hobby farm for someone. This was a little bit more commercial, I think, just by the size and all these outbuildings. You've got the stables here for 1, 2, 3 sort of animals, horses maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if a horse would fit through that gap. Maybe a bit too small. No idea. More sheds, a lot of sheds. And here's the back. And that's about it. There's horses over there. There's another property just around the corner that's also very much, I believe, abandoned, as in abandoned the house, yes, but the property, no, for developers. And once again, if I can find any information about how much this got sold for, maybe what it was used for, I'll put it in the video at some stage, and if I can't, I can't. But I will make the effort of trying to find, because some of them are a little bit hard to find. Some of these properties got sold and it was disclosed, where they don't really say how much it went for and all that sort of stuff, unless you go through the titles office and do a search, and you normally get that info there, but you've got to pay for that service. This is another little outbuilding. Pigeons? Was he into racing pigeons? I got no idea. It just seems that they're pretty high way up there. I don't think chickens fly up there, or maybe they do. I have no idea. So we'll keep coming around. Every shed has a story to tell, I can tell you that. Budgery guards. Geez, they let it go at the end, didn't they? I think the budgies were pretty happy living in there. Now you can gather by the noise of the plane overhead, we are not close to Tullamarine, but we are in the flight path, I believe. So whether or not I can get the drone up will depend on what information I get on my software to say, no, you're too close, or you're just within the boundary, be careful. There is restrictions about drones. I know, and some people are aware, that if you've got a drone less than 250 grams, there are some exemptions for you to go up, and you can explore that. I choose not to. I just haven't got the time for it. Here's another shed. Some sort of poultry or some sort of bird life lived here. Definitely birds, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we're close to the flight path of Tullamarine. How close? I don't know. And I've got really good software. I think anyone that flies a drone has similar software where you get a warning, or you just cannot fly the drone at all. It just tells you you can't. You can switch all that off and put them up. I don't do that. I sort of, if it tells me not to do it, I won't do it. So you've got some, I've seen these a couple of times. I don't know if they're very expensive, if they're worth a lot of money, but I'll show you what I'm going to look at. These are like caterpillar wheels off excavators or bobcats and things like that. I have no idea what sort of lifespan they have. Are they any good? Can they be recycled? Your guess is as good as mine. But I'm starting to see these being dumped around as well. So that can only sort of suggest to me that the developers, whoever they've contracted to clear up the area, they've swapped the tracks here. So there's the property from a bit of a distance. Great house, yeah. The house without question would have been terrific back in its day. Very large. And what I do like about the house and this part of the property, because you can see the rest of the area is just open space, that the farmer or the person who owned it, if he wasn't a farmer and these were just all these hobby sheds, the amount of trees around the property or the house, so it would have been quite cool in those hot summer days. And as you can see, a lot of dumped rubbish. It's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. for at least the amount of rubbish that is here will be the only amount of rubbish, because they have done a really good job of blocking the entrance. So that's pretty good. So as we can see, they had pretty much a formal entrance. I'm going to second guess here and suggest that cars could pull up right in front of the front door, like you're at some sort of reception centre or something. So you'd pull up here, unload your groceries, or kick the kids out after school, or have the car ready to pick them up to go to school, which is not a bad idea. And that's why I guess it's one of the benefits of having a country property. And I can reassure everyone that they would have got a heck of a lot of money for this block of land. After looking at some of the other abandoned places we've seen in this area, they were getting, we're talking millions and multiple amounts of millions for their property. So that's a good thing. So whoever bought this place, put the house on it, put the sheds on, was a shrewd investor. Or maybe he was just lucky. So there has been a fire, so maybe that's what I'm smelling. And the fire was in the garage there. So they've got more than one garage, which suggests, well, can only suggest that they had a lot of cars, a lot of vehicles. Or as a hobby, he might have been a mechanic, or as I suggested earlier, he might have had some trucks, and that was part of the way he was making money. Or her, could have been her as well. So yeah, there's a lot of dump stuff. The good thing about this place, I don't really see anything of a dangerous nature, like syringes and whatnot. It's all pretty just standard rubbish. Okay, but what a great entrance to greet you while you're driving up your driveway. That's terrific. These trees are just great. I'll quickly just jump in here. If you are curious about the price for this property, that'll come up shortly while the drone's up in the sky. Okay, so here we are at the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just a regular house that had a big family, I guess, and a lot of sheds in the outside. The property itself, once the drone goes up, you would have seen that it was a vast property, unless the property was owned by someone else, but I doubt it because it seems to all be linked in with this property. So if you did like the video, by all means, click on the like button or that thumbs up icon. Please consider subscribing. Subscribing doesn't cost you 1 cent and it really does help the channel immensely. But most importantly, stay safe, commute safe, and just have a great day, and thanks for watching. Well, really swampland around here.